Welcome back to New Year Black Me. Today I have a series of videos, and these videos are in regards to students and some of the things that they have to deal with at school, which they should not have to deal with. And more importantly, these are students that look just like you and I. Now, the reason why this is concerning to me because 2020 was a hard year for everyone. Many people kept their children at home and did not want to take them back. And then some had to take them back. And now, after you worry about 2020, having to take your children back to school, this is what they have to deal with. We already had to deal with George Floyd. This is the age, in this video, these are the age where kids are getting the talk about what it's like to be brown like them. And I think it's pretty sad. So in these videos, you're gonna see where students who create a online game and they are auctioning off Black children. Yes, I said it. They're auctioning off Black children as slaves. And it is an online game. It's not like reality. They're actually auctioning them off, but they're using these real students' faces and playing this game where they're in this virtual type reality doing an auction. And once word gets out, the school responds by saying they do not condone cyber bullying. And a lot of the parents were angry because it's not cyberbullying. I mean, it is a form of bullying, but more importantly, it's racism. And children at this age should not have to go through this. Now, we have another video while the David Chauvin trial the verdict was underway. This is why the verdict, or I think it was moments after the verdict, you have a teacher who apparently she's friends with the mom. She makes a joke, and the joke is apparently her son, the teacher is saying to the mom, she's apparently friends with the mom of the student, saying that he was being bad in class. And I guess the joke is she puts her foot on his neck. So I'm assuming that's supposed to be a joke. Ha ha. George Floyd did something wrong. That's why he gets the knee to the neck. So your son does something bad. I put my foot on his neck. I don't know what the joke is. I don't know what's so funny. Maybe I'm not as humorous as I thought I was. I just don't get the joke. I don't know. So she is fired. And so take a look into that video. The mom does not want her to be fired, and she believes it's just a misunderstanding. Might want to check who your friends are. And then we do have another video where a student is going to miss the bus. So he's running, but as he's running, he pulls down his mask just below the nose, I guess, so he can breathe out the nose, even though the mouth is still covered. The bus driver makes a comment about it, and I'm assuming he must have told him he pulled down the mask because he couldn't breathe because he was running to the bus stop. And listen to what she says in response to that. And this is while the George Floyd trial is underway. She mentions something about no one's knee is on your neck. So I don't want to hear the I can't breathe statement, but take a listen. Now, these videos may not be in the same order in which I address them, but I'm just going to go ahead and roll all these videos and you tell me your thoughts. Thank you for watching New Year Black Me. I am Danielle, your host.
Two news events that have people on edge are the pandemic and the killing of George Floyd. Well, those two issues recently combined to cost a St. Bernard school bus driver her job. Investigative reporter Mike Perlstein explains in this exclusive report.
Like, I get chills right now. It hurt me. It hurt me.
Rose Gabriel's 11-year-old son, Rashad, is usually carefree and chatty when she meets him after his bus ride home from school. But one day earlier this month, Rashad was unusually quiet.
Ma, the bus driver said something to me that was racist.
The 6th grader told his mom that the bus driver scolded him after his face mask slipped below his nose. He told his mom he was out of breath after running to catch the bus. Gabriel recounted what the driver said.
Since George Floyd, that's what y'all all say, but I don't see a knee on your neck. I'm like, are you sure she said that? He said, yeah, all the kids on the bus heard it.
Not only did other kids hear the George Floyd comment, but it was recorded on the bus's onboard camera.
I just started crying. I just started crying because she tried to make my son feel like he is not supposed to be where he was. And, you know, just don't make him feel inferior. He's not inferior to nothing. He's just as equal as any one of those students on that bus.
After keeping her son off the bus for a day, Gabriel reported the driver's comments. The driver admitted what she said, and the matter quickly reached the desk of longtime school superintendent Doris Vautier. Vautier took swift action. The employee is now out of a job. The superintendent could not reveal whether the driver was fired or resigned because it's a personnel matter, but she did have some strong things to say. In a telephone interview, Vautier said, quote, "She no longer works for our school system. I can't defend that. I don't condone that. What she said is offensive and inappropriate. It was racially insensitive, and we took appropriate action."
I know for sure it made me relieved that I know that she's no longer on the bus with my son or any other, body's child.
With the controversy now in the rearview mirror, Rose Gabriel said she can concentrate on something less stressful, making her son the happy student he was before. Mike Perlstein, Eyewitness News.
And Vautier said she was especially sensitive to the matter because the Chauvin trial was in full swing whenever the driver made that offensive comment.
A North Texas teacher at the center of a photo controversy has resigned.
Earlier this week, the teacher in the Greenville ISD, northeast of Dallas, sent a picture of her foot on a student's neck to the family. Some members of that student's family, understandably, were upset. They posted it online. Fox 4's Stephen Dial joining us now with the very latest in this. Stephen.
Heather, the mother of the boy, posted on Facebook recently saying that she did not want the teacher to be fired and thought that she should keep her job. The Greenville ISD superintendent says regardless of the intent, he says it's inappropriate. This picture of a Greenville ISD teacher's foot on a black student garnered mixed emotions this week. The boy's teacher texted it to the mother the same day Derek Chauvin was convicted for George Floyd's death. Family members tell Fox 4 the picture happened after the boy apparently acted out in class. The boy's aunt posted the picture on social media, upsetting many in the community and getting the attention of the school district.
I personally don't believe after the investigation that there was any malicious intent or any racial issue there. It was just a poor judgment and an extremely inappropriate thing to do.
Greenville ISD Superintendent Dr. Demetrius Liggins says their investigation ended Friday. Their recommendation, a special called meeting next week to decide whether or not to fire the teacher. Instead, the teacher submitted her resignation through her attorney.
There's a line that you just don't cross with children or with families, and it's a matter of dignity that's always should be in place with all of our students. And I personally think that line had been crossed.
We reached out to the mother of the student for a comment and she declined. In a Facebook post, the mother said bad decisions were made on both ends, but still believes the teacher should be able to keep her job. And she says she and the teacher have been friends for years. Liggins says the district encourages teachers to build relationships, but believes this incident was different.
It was a very playful picture. However, it doesn't change the outcome.
While the teacher was not fired, the school district says they will still report the incident to the State Board for Education Certification, for teacher certification, and let them decide what will happen to that teacher's certification.
Well, tonight, parents and activists are expected to speak out about a racist Snapchat group involving Aledo ISD students at a special school board meeting. Fox 4's Deanna Anglin spoke with a parent of one of the targeted students and has the story.
Today, I stand to make it very clear Our sons are not victims. They were targeted.
In an effort, they say, to project truth and clarity, these Aledo ISD parents are speaking out publicly and on camera about their sons being targets of a racist post mocking a slave auction. Chris and Miyoshi Johnson have been with the district since their 9th grader started school. Over the years, forging many positive relationships, including notable moments like this district rally and send-off when Chris played for the Baltimore Ravens in the 2014 Super Bowl. Now, in sharp contrast, an incident they hope will encourage much-needed dialogue.
Instead of letting something that was meant to dehumanize, belittle, and embarrass them, they, our sons, are using it to elevate themselves and the people in their school and our community.
Tamara Lawrence and her husband, who could not be present, are also long-standing Aledo parents.
My husband and I, as well as the Johnsons, specifically outlined for the administration a blueprint of how to move intentionally and mindfully through this process. We advised what important details needed to be shared about the incident, including the use of the N-word.
The mothers even wearing T-shirts with the racist post and its N-word title to illustrate the late March incident by a group of students at the 9th grade center. Both families say the district let them down. They say following weeks of complaints and meetings they initiated,
we were read a plan, an email, and thought we were moving forward in a positive way to protect our sons from this.
They say they were disappointed with what followed. A school news item they insist watered down the reality.
What was sent out was a blanket statement calling it cyberbullying and harassment, which it is not. Let's call it what it is, racism at its core.
It wasn't until Monday the district issued a stronger statement and noted students involved had been disciplined, though they did not make specific the punishment or how many were dealt with.
Our children needed to feel valued by their school, as well as educate the Aledo community, and there was a substantial gap.
Until we start having open, honest conversation about the incidents, they will continue to happen and be treated as isolated incidents.
Now, both families are being allowed to speak at a special called school board meeting that is getting underway now. They say they plan to suggest things, including considerations for diversity training and a code of conduct item dealing with behavior that involves racially charged incidents.